Hey everyone, this is Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing the 5 profit killers in your Amazon business. We're going to be talking about what are profitability tracking methods, the types of costs and fees inside your account you might not know about, and insights on addressing silent profit killers you didn't know about. Welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm.
Okay, so today, it goes back about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, we had a discussion in our WhatsApp group, and the name Seller Board kept coming up about profitability trackers. So we reached out to them and they're on today. So let's go back. Today, we're going to be discussing 5 profit killers in your Amazon business. Our guest is the head of marketing at Seller Board. His rich background spans various business sectors such as hospitality, automotive, do-it-yourself retail, and other diverse retail sectors. Beyond his professional achievement, he cherishes his roles as a devoted husband, proud father of 2, and creatively expresses himself through beat making. Please welcome, well, not quite yet, but our guest today is a first-time guest, and that's Alex Speian. And I hope I said that right, Alex, after I already asked you how to pronounce it. I'll say it again. Our first-time guest, Alex Speian. All right, let's have a word from our sponsor. Facing cash flow challenges with your e-commerce business? Discover Viably, your ultimate financial ally. From real-time sales data integrations to immediate funding access, Viably is here to support you. Plan your growth with their free tool for online sellers and engage with specialists whenever you need. Extend your cash flow with Viably. All right, we're back. And where is the boy Blunder?
You know, I think you had it right the first time. You had to go back the second time.
I just wanted to cover my butt. That's all.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, well, happy Friday to you. Hope you're doing well.
And to you and to everybody listening.
Yes.
I think today's going to be great. So I know you put this in the WhatsApp group, but this podcast actually came from our many suggestions from our WhatsApp group. So we reached out to Seller Board to get their opinion and also to see if they could come on the podcast. And also they've given us a really great prize today. So anyway, let's talk about some of the events that are coming up. Kels, you want to talk about Chris McCabe's?
Yeah, so we have the Seller Velocity conference coming up. There's an early bird promotion happening until February 9th. So you have like one more week for it. If you're listening to this on audio, the code is SVC24 early bird. I'm going to put the links over in the comment section as well, but you can check those out. That'll get you 25% off the ticket. The actual date is on May 1st and 2nd in New York City. So check that out if you want to, if you're in the New York area. And then you got the Titan events that you're heading to, right?
Titan event is, I believe it's I think it's 26th, 27th, 28th in Cancun. So planning to be there, and it's open to everyone. So if you are interested in it, first time I'm going to this one, I hear great things about their Cancun event. They have many events all the time, but this is their one big event, which I hear that there's just tons of people there, tons of learning, some great speakers. All right. Oh, the bearded mimic. Who is the bearded mimic?
Come on.
Is it Chuck? Is it Chuck?
It's
All
Chuck.
right. Okay. Very good. Let's see. Anything else I got to talk about? No. Other than our WhatsApp group and our newsletter, which is going really well. It's grown exponentially. I didn't think it would be.
How do you say that? Say that again.
I don't know. Just don't even. You're the school teacher. I'm the one that flunked out of school. So
All right. Well, I do just want to mention the WhatsApp group because I think it's really cool what happened over there. We've got a great crew and a lot of great conversations happening, and this happened to be one of the conversations and topics was seller board and having them on. So let's see. There was a carnivore or CrossFit carnivore who's actually here, and he mentioned that over in the WhatsApp group, and we were able to get Alex on. So just a great place to have your questions. We're going to see if we can get Alex in the WhatsApp group too to answer any questions as well. So if there are any topics, guests that you want us to have on the podcast, just let us know. Check it out. And we're also announcing different groups every week, kind of in our like subgroups inside our WhatsApp group. So I think starting Monday, we're going to try out a social media TikTok group. So for those interested in learning more about social media or having conversations about social media, we're going to be opening that group up next. So check that out. And
that whole TikTok topic has been going crazy.
Yeah, so
It's
much talk about
crazy.
TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, I just want to why? Okay, so CrossFit carnivore. Why go to the Titan Cancun? Well, I don't get anything from it. First of all, so there's no affiliate fee. There's no cash coming back. Now, one of the reasons I promote it is because it's a solid conference, and like Kevin King's BDSS, you can go to a virtual BDSS, and that's great. He's got a lot of great speakers. Titan can do the same. But going and meeting people and sitting down and either participating in some games or just participating in the networking, that's what makes up the event. I don't know if you saw, but in our newsletter, and also we posted it, that we always get together either at dinner and we meet a whole bunch of people. We never sit with the same people. So we get to know people, break bread with people, and understand the person. And that means for friendships build out of that. Kevin and I, we met in Hawaii and we just grew a really great friendship from that. And now we have a whole bunch, our whole social group is around that. So I always recommend going to live events. And if you can, there's meetups, there's free events. With Titan, they have local events, which are fairly inexpensive, like they're a few $100. And then they have this event here, and I'm not even sure what the cost is. Maybe Kelsey, you could check that out. And by the way, you're listening live right now. This all gets edited out when we post our podcast. Okay, so if you're listening for the first time, normally what will happen is we edit this out. This is just for you, that we talk to you about this stuff before the podcast. So hopefully that explains it. It's all about the networking, and something that Kevin and I always talk about is that it's the campfire, and you sit around the campfire, you talk story, and you get to know not only people's personal experiences, their just fun stories. Paul Raffleson, go on and listen to Paul Raffleson's podcast with me. We sat around till 4:30 in the morning with Kevin and a couple of other people, and we had a blast. So that's how I got to know Paul. That's the reason. Long-winded. So check it out.
All right. And so we're just about to get started. I just want to say a quick hi to Cool Hand. We've got a Facebook user, Chuck, Ed, Steve, Alejandro, I think Rad and Tom. Good to see everyone. Get your questions in, and I think that's it from me.
Okay. All right. So if you do have any questions, comments, throw them in the comment section. And now sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, enjoy this episode. Welcome, Alex.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good. Thank you. Norm, thank you for the invitation. Great to be here.
You know, again, I'm going to just say it. You're here because around 4 or 5 people had mentioned your company. And I know your company was reaching out to me over the last few months. And then when I saw that, I reached back out and said, hey, we got to get you on the podcast. So it was perfect. And thanks again to our WhatsApp group. So let's talk a little bit about Seller Board for the people. And again, we're not selling apps. I don't have an affiliate, nothing like that. just want to know what Seller Board's all about because I didn't know.
Okay, sure. Me being, a part of the marketing team, of course, I will try not to make it as a pitch and just will try to explain, not to promote the software. But Sellerboard is a profit analytics software. So all I do on the daily, as a member of the marketing team for Sellerboard is try to stress the importance of, setting up a system to really understand how your bottom line can be calculated, your profits at the end of the day, because there's so much to take into account. So Sellerboard basically, is a tool that is designed to give you kind of a feeling of, calmness, so you can really understand that you're okay. This is something that you are making as a profit right now. This is something that you might be expecting as profit in the near future. So you don't have to necessarily, start searching for a 9 to 5 tomorrow. So understanding your the insights, so the numbers in your business basically gives you a lot. It gives you, a feeling that you're okay, or not, or maybe not. Maybe you need to know maybe you need to pay more attention to certain areas of the business where the numbers aren't showing a really good result. So what we do, we provide a really accurate profit analytics dashboard, a system. We always, introduce new solutions to making the accurate calculations as accurate as possible in more ways. And then also we have a solid toolkit of additional automation tools to make some of the processes inside your Amazon business easier, and maybe put some of them on auto mode. So, they can be, handled without doing repetitive stuff every day. So yeah, basically this is what Sellerboard is all about. But the main thing I want to underline it and make it in bold: profit analytics is the main value that we are bringing.
Okay, so one of the things I want to understand about your app is that Amazon fees are one thing,
Yeah.
but what about are you allowed to add manual? Like, let's say there's a transparent sticker that's coming from one company, an insert coming from another company, packaging. Can you put in cost of goods, all of that stuff, so you have a really accurate understanding of your landing cost as well as your ongoing fees?
Yes, you definitely can. So, of course, pulling the Amazon fees, all of them, all of the fees that apply to your business is one thing, and you can always have a transparent, view of what applies to your business as in terms of Amazon fees. But besides that, we have several options, of, first of all, making your cost of goods calculations really accurate, because prices change, and one batch of products could have one cost of goods, and another one in like half a year, or I don't know, when you order another batch of the same products, might have a totally different cost of goods. So you can account for that as well. And besides that, you always have a lot of overhead expenses that you
Right.
need to take account, right? So, and you maybe have overhead expenses that are maybe one time or are recurrent. They happen, like, let's say, I don't know, every month you're paying an accountant, or maybe once a year an accountant, or you're paying rent for a warehouse like once a month, or maybe you have one-time expenses that are linked to specific products. Let's say you're doing a photo shoot, right? So maybe you want to take all of those costs and only apply them to a list of specific products, so they will be taken into account for calculating the profit for those products, not on an account level, but on the product level. And maybe, you have expenses so big that once they are coming in at a certain date each month, then they mess up your numbers. Then what you want to do now, then in that case, you want to amortize them. So you basically want to divide them in the number of days that you have in that specific month, and see small portions, of that expense added to your subtracted from your bottom line. So you will see how they affect your profitability, this specific expense. So we do have those tools, coming back to your question, and yeah, you definitely can take those expenses into account.
Yeah, it's so important that you have a really accurate picture. So if you can add that, that's perfect. Okay, so let's get into this.
Sure.
Started one of the things I wanted to talk about today is profitability tracking methods. So you want to go through a few?
Sure. Well, basically, all of the talking points that I've sent you for this podcast are, kind of like a part of the general pitch that we have. So for Sellerboard, and why do we start, with the profitability calculation methods? Because this is what is the most important part. You can be calculating your profits in different ways. So if you're just starting out, maybe a spreadsheet will be enough for you, right? So you will be taking into account the profit per unit that you're making, multiplying it, per number of units sold, and you will think that you're all right, you're doing good. But in reality, you have far more. You have a lot of factors that you need to take into account. So uh, as you will be growing as an Amazon seller, there will come a time when you will understand that you are not able to process all of this data by yourself manually. So doing all of this heavy lifting in calculations by yourself is not the best option. Another way to calculate, do your numbers, is by hiring an accountant to do that for you, right? To maybe tell you whether you're profitable or not. But there are, of course, downsides to this method, because the results come in late, so they're not actionable. You will get a report from your accountant, I don't know, once in, maybe, it depends, but even a week. It's late. You cannot act on that.
Right.
And it's also not cost effective. So then we are coming to the idea that you need a tool set up. So basically, I'm talking now about any other, maybe not necessarily Sellerboard, but any other profitability calculation tool, like a system set in place that will pull live data, will process it, will take into account the factors that need to be there, and will calculate your bottom line. So you will be able to analyze data through different optics and perspectives, like you to see trends, if there are any, right? Because you have different metrics that are important. You might track, let's say, the basic stuff, right? Your sales, and see dynamics for a specific product. So doing stuff manually and using only the reports from Amazon, which are, of course, they're the most precise source of data, the reports, but working with reports, like importing them into spreadsheets that you will be able, to process and do the analytics, is everyday work. It's like a full-time job. So you need to set up a system that will do this heavy lifting for you. So this is the final idea about the method that you should come to, is something that you will first set up. You will fine tune which views and which tools you will need to run your data through, just to understand how it will help you make decisions. Because like Sellerboard, as many other tools, it's not about accounting in the first place. It's not for reporting to the IRS, or I don't know, another how is it called, like a system that will track the taxes or anything. It's for management, because you need to understand your numbers to make those decisions. Do you want to discontinue a product? Do you want to maybe analyze how well you're performing in terms of BSR for a specific product? What is the return rate for one of your products? Is it rising? Why is it rising? Maybe you have a problem with the batch of products, with the quality. Maybe the expectations of the customer are not met for a specific reason. So having the ability to choose which metrics you are really interested in and analyze them in perspective, in dynamics, gives you the option to act quickly. So this is the main value of a system put in place that will, do the calculations for you and do it live, rather than, transforming yourself into an accountant and doing it daily, 9 to 5, or passing it on to someone else who will do the results, or give you the results late.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. This is the main idea that I wanted to share. So you basically, it boils down to the fact that you need a system that will give you the option to act on the results that you get, and do it quickly, because the market changes very, very quick. You know it better than me probably. So you need to be flexible. This is the idea.
Right. And by the way, I'm just looking at some of the questions and some of the comments. All the questions will be asked at the end of the podcast. So if you don't hear that your questions are being answered, don't worry. We usually ask them towards the end of the podcast. Okay, now let's talk about some fees. And I want to start out with hidden fees. What are some fees that Amazon sellers sometimes don't take into consideration that they're missing out
Mhm.
on?
Well, there are actually plenty of them. And of course, it depends on the business model that you have, the products that you work with. But if we are talking about fees that are not necessarily there on the surface, so you have stuff like FBA inbound convenience fee. You have the FBA inbound defect fee. You might have the FBA weight-based fee. You have fees that are there for, I don't know, let's say bubble wrap, let's polybagging, fixed closing fee, taping fee. So there are the coupon redemption fees. There are fees that actually only apply in certain cases, and you might not even know that they did apply to one of your orders. So again, trying to do the calculations manually and not having a system in place will, you will eventually run into a risk that you will not be accounting for something. And aside, from the fact that there are these hidden fees, they change. So,
Right.
and as a seller, you will not necessarily know exactly when the fees have changed. So, of course, if you are, an engaged seller and you are like tracking always the changes and announcements from Amazon, like the ones that appeared now in December and the ones that are going to take place in March and April, of course. But there are also changes that might have been applied to your products, and sometimes wrongfully. So maybe there have been some fee changes for some products that might not necessarily have been done, in a legit way. In that case, you already, might get reimbursed for these cases. And this is another topic, a whole other topic for one of the tools that we have. But, keeping track of not only of the whole catalog of the fees, but also for the changes in fees is like really important. And having a system again that will know and basically not only know, but will pull the exact fees for each case, for each scenario, gives you an extreme advantage in being sure that you're accounting for everything.
Yeah, and some of these killer fees too, the long-term storage fees. And now switching from, what was it, 240 to 180, and I think what is it, $6 and something cents? Is the worst part of it per cubic foot. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So these are some that can just kill you. Now you have to have your inventory. You have to have the right amount of inventory for 2 months, or you can get hit. If you play that one right, by the way, you can actually save money. But here's one that a lot of people don't think about. I've talked about this the last podcast, I believe, and that's the tariff. You go out there and you get a tariff, and you don't put that. And I'll tell you one that I know of, and it's so bad because the person had a great product, but it was big, it was oversized, really oversized, and they had almost a 40% tariff when it landed. So 30 some odd percent, like high 30s, took them right out. They ended up just liquidating. They tried to sell, they couldn't sell, and they just liquidated their first product, and then that scared them off. These are things that you need to know. Like when you're going out there and you're doing your product opportunity, and you might get 5 or 10 different products that you're looking at, you better take a look at those tariff taxes, those tariff codes, because that will kill you. And who does that? Who does that? Anybody that's listening right now, tell me if you've actually gone out and asked for the tariff code while you're searching. And if you're asking your manufacturer in China, it's probably wrong. So those are just some things that you look at, that if you don't know these things, you can get killed. Also, you were talking about amortizing things. So if you have if you've got your inventory, but if you've got accounting, if you've got lawyer fees, these are all things that I don't know about you, but it could be $3,000, $4,000 for your accountant to take a look at your, not audit, but review your books, right? So you got to put that in if you want to check this, like really be up to date, if you want to get everything down packed. And also it's garbage in, garbage out. If you're not putting in the little things, like let's say you have, different components coming in, or it's an assembly, or there's kitting, you got to add that in, or you're just going to have bad information. So
Yep.
that's just me. I just wrong. Deep
No.
rabbit hole.
Totally agree with that. And let me add some to the list. So, as an Amazon seller, imagine. Okay, let's just try to make the list a little bit longer. Take into account the software that you are using, right? There's a lot of software that you use, and some of them cost less, some of it costs more. Take into account if you have like office rent, or maybe a warehouse that you're renting. If you are, of course, the services that you use, like accounting and virtual assistants and stuff like that, all of that needs to be taken into account. Like even the small, or that might not be necessarily small, but the trainings that you do, right? Courses, events that you attend. This is all a part of the business. And if it's like an investment, if you are investing in it, then probably you should take that into account, because you might want to cover, these expenses and then be profitable at the end of the day. So yeah, I totally agree. You should, try to put as much as possible of those spends and expenses inside the calculation machine and have it, do its job.
So again, this is not a pitch for your app, but I
Yep.
want to ask, does your app does it integrate with the like Xero or QuickBooks or other accounting softwares?
Yeah, it has QuickBooks integration.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good. Okay. We're at the bottom of the hour. That flew by. We've got a bunch of other questions coming up right after the sponsor, but we have a great Wheel of Kelsey today. So this is your first time listening to the podcast. Every podcast we give away something. And today we've got a great giveaway, but if you want to enter, it's got to be hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Or as you can see in the comments, people have been putting hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. And if you tagged 2 people, you get a second entry. Alex, what's today's giveaway?
So today we are giving away 6 months of free Seller Board subscription. So yeah, we're hyped about it. Really looking forward to see who will be the winner.
All right. So just hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you can enter. That's going to be at the top of the hour. All right, Kels, let's go to a sponsor. This episode of Lunch with Norm is sponsored by VAA Philippines. Looking for a high-quality virtual assistant for your business? With the rigorous screening, intensive Amazon and Walmart training, and ongoing professional development, get the peace of mind with skill and motivated virtual assistants for a long-term working relationship. Hire through VAA today, and now let's get back to the show. My dog still has my socks in his mouth. What the heck? Dallas, come here. Come on. Here he comes. All right. Thank you. And my wife's here. You want to take that? He brings me something, during every podcast. Today, I don't know where he got those from. Okay, so we are back. Let's talk about some of the risks of underestimating returns.
Yeah. So first of all, returns. We talking, to the Seller Board users, and not necessarily in general, attending webinars and talking to the sellers. We've observed one common thing, that a lot of sellers don't really understand or don't pay too much attention to the fact how returns are being accounted for. I mean, how they're calculated. So let me, stop here for a very quick second. So
Sure.
Every time a customer, applies for a refund, and he wants to return the product, If he does return the product actually to the warehouse or not, this is a separate question. We also might discuss that later. But let's suppose he does return the product. So Amazon then immediately reimburses the customer and charges you as the seller. So the important thing to understand here, that from the total structure of the refund cost, there are parts of it that are refunded by Amazon, and there are parts that are not refunded by Amazon back to you as the seller. And there's an additional refund commission that is charged by Amazon. So let's talk a little bit about this structure of the refund cost. So when a customer pays for a product, so there's the cost of goods, evidently, the FBA fee, the referral fee, there might be a shipping charge back, and there's the profit that you might end up with. But when the refund happens, when the customer asks for a refund, the shipping charge back, if there's one, is refunded by Amazon. The referral fee is refunded by Amazon. The cost of goods for this specific product is like a question mark, because it depends only on the state of the product, how it came back to you. Is it resellable or is it not sellable? Can you put it back into the market or not? So it's a question mark. Then the FBA fee is not refunded by Amazon. Obviously you lose your profit, right? So that's profit lost. And additionally to that, there's a refund commission that is charged by Amazon. So your total loss potentially for every refund is like the FBA fee, the profit, and the refund commission. That is your loss. And that the cost of goods might add to that if the if the product came back in an unsellable condition. So this is the risk of underestimating returns. So paying close attention to the return rates on the product level is very important. Understanding the reasons for returns, because customers always should provide a reason when they ask for a reimbursement. So paying close attention to that is really important, because some of the times the things that you might see there and understand about the reasons are really actionable. So the most common thing that we run into is the fact that customers' expectations are not met. So the pictures, the descriptions, the size of the product, the color, stuff like that. If the customer didn't really get what he expected to get, then he might return the product. And this is, somewhat easily fixable. If you are able, to do a better description, if you are able to show the size to in comparison to something in your pictures, and to do to improve the lighting when you're taking pictures for the product, so the colors of the product will be more relevant, then this is all extremely important, because it might affect your return rates. And on top of that, you also have the percentage of resellable products. So you might want to pay attention to that also on the product level. And these are just some things that you probably as a seller should, just keep an eye on. And because the returns hide this threat for you, because every return, it means a loss in some way for you. So you will basically lose more than you will get back. This is the main risk. And understanding the return cost structure is the first thing to really, understanding this risk. This is this is basically the approach.
Okay, very good. So let's talk about sharing insights on addressing these silent profit killers. Like such as there's probably some discrete events that might require immediate attention in your FBA business.
Mm-hmm. Of course. So there are things I like. The thing that you've pointed out, that it requires immediate attention. That means that of course you need to be able to get notified instantly to act, because every minute that you are not acting, you might be losing money. And coming back to your question, so some of these scenarios in the Amazon business might be linked to listing changes, like name, description, photos and listing, the relation between the child and the parent ASIN, the brand, if it changed, or maybe even if the listing was suppressed, if it was closed. So all of these things are one big category of important event that you should be immediately get notified about. Then if you have new sellers on the listing, maybe you need to pay attention to that also. If you've lost the buy box, this is another important thing. Maybe you want to act, to get it back immediately. If the category of the product changed, let's say the dimension of the product changed, because the category and the dimension, if they changed, then this will potentially lead to higher FBA fees. So you will start overpaying in fees. So you need to get notified about that. So neutral and negative feedback. So also this is important because when you get that, I don't need to get basically to dive into this. You know what happens if you get bad feedback. And one more important thing that's maybe not there on the surface, but if you have potential stock shortages, then this is also important, because probably if you have a lot of ASINs and you can't really, keep up with all of them, so it would be a good idea to get notified in case that you'll be about to run out of stock for some of the products. So if you're able to set up an alert for that, then I would definitely recommend doing that.
Yeah, we just did a launch and we were trying to bring life back to this client's brand, and it worked. And all of a sudden, like, he's back, he's in he's on page 1 and you're seeing him everywhere on all these different keywords. He didn't send in the inventory.
Yeah.
It took about I'll just say it again. I'm Canadian, so let's just get that out of the way. But it took them 10 to 14 days to get the inventory out. And by that time, it just collapsed. So, and this is about the 5th or 6th time he's done that. So it's a killer. As much effort that you put into it, it's worth nothing at the end of the day. But knowing that you have inventory and that you know if you're going to have a shortage and you can plan for it, that just makes it that much better. So I just wanted to put that in there. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Norm, for interrupting. I just wanted to add, even the thing about stock shortages and not being able to supply the inventory in time, from our point of view, and I can say it for the whole team that we were discussing this, it's about building systems, small systems that will keep track of this, notify you about this, then maybe change this when a certain set of rules will be met, then something will happen. So these small systems, if adjusted and set up correctly, they will help you, because there's so much to pay attention to, and you're only human. You're not able to do all of it. So if you can use automation in some way to your advantage, then you should do it. And yeah, this is the same exact scenario. Well, just wanted also to
that's important. We got a bunch of questions, so let's.
All right.
Why don't we start on it, Kels, if you want to start.
All right. So I think this is a good one to start with, from Ed. What does everyone look at each day in Seller Board? I always look at units sold, net margin, and ratio of organic sales to PPC sales and PPC spend. That's my daily routine. What's yours?
So is it a question to me or
It's
any of the other sellers?
like I mentioned at the beginning. I didn't know about Seller Board, so I haven't been using it. So this is all you.
Okay, I feel like this might be a question to other Seller Board users, because it depends. Okay, we do know what parts of the software are used more frequently, and which metrics people search for and use more. it really depends on the business model, whether you're doing, arbitrage, whether you're private label, and there's small certain differences. Well, of course, whether you're running PPC or not, that's another thing. So this list from CrossFit Carnivore is quite solid in terms of, of course, the unit sold, the net margin, and a lot of the attention is paid actually to PPC, because when you are constantly trying to improve your positioning, being there in the top of search, when you're trying to get your ads in front of the customers, then you have some activity that you want to keep track of when you're making changes. So basically, you're doing the input, you're doing some adjustments, and you want to see exactly what was the outcome to the next day. Because using this information, you are going to improve your method each time. And this is a lot of sellers are doing this. So they're adding to this, they are working with the ACAS, so they are analyzing what's the ACAS for their product. They are linking the ACAS to the of course the beats that they're adjusting, but the PPC also there's the okay, the total ACAS, but we are calling it a real ACAS in SellerBot. So these metrics, in addition to the list that we have here, and some of the sellers really pay attention to the returns each day. So this is something that stands aside. Yeah, but the basic list provided here is quite solid. So I would agree with all of the metrics provided here.
Yeah, I just noticed that Tom, AMZ Elite, put daily profits and PPC spend.
Yeah.
All right. Next skills.
Well,
go ahead.
I just wanted to say that why PPC is really, has so much attention, obviously, because, when you're thinking about profitability, so there are two major things that take away from the profits. So these are your cost of goods. It's not, it's not even taking into account cost of goods. The Amazon fees, so that's something you cannot control, and there's the PPC. So two major parts that basically, if you see the percentage, how much they eat up from the profits, and the Amazon fees you cannot change, but the PPC is heavily, is depending on your input, what you are doing there. So yeah, definitely PPC.
One thing I just remembered when we're talking about amortization, mold costs. So that could be pretty significant too. So that might be something you want to consider. All right. So let's get into the next one.
Okay. Cost of goods change a lot. Can we upload a flat file, for example, ASIN in COG?
Yes, you can. So there's a bulk import option for you, to upload all of these things at once. And we provide a template, so you can arrange all of your data according to the template, and then just hit upload, and you'll update all of your COGS for these products instantly.
Oh, fantastic.
All right, this one's from Steve. How about for replacement orders? Can you talk about how it works with fees?
Replacement orders. So I don't really want to give you information that will be irrelevant, because we are making changes in this calculation method now. So I would rather, for the sake of keeping the most up-to-date info, skip this question, just because in the next release, I think it will be in 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have an update to the calculation method, and I'm really not sure what the changes will be there. So I would rather maybe if I will join the group in WhatsApp, come back with a more precise answer to that once the update will be done, and answer your question, Steve, if that's okay with you.
Okay, awesome. So let me see.
You can answer in the group.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
From Ed as well, again, if customers returns a product listed on the Amazon paper stating damaged, but it is perfectly intact. What is the recourse? And I guess that's for Norm as well.
Well, for me, one of the things that I'll do is I'll make sure that it goes back to the 3PL, so that you can see that it's not damaged, and then I'll just put it out to resell again. There's a lot of people that'll do that. You'll see that if they use it, it's a bit of a problem. However, we'll get product that's back that hasn't even been touched. We don't know why they buy it. Maybe because they just wanted to check it out and they wanted to get compared to things. But yeah, always for me, always send it back to the warehouse, and then you just can redistribute it. Sometimes the package might be damaged. All it needs is a new package, and off it goes again. What about you, Alex?
I really can't add too much to that. So me not having too much seller experience. I'm working with someone on a private label account as of recently, but I didn't run into these into these cases so far. So yeah, but I would agree with your approach. Why not put it into the market if you can? Why, if it's resellable, of course.
Right. And it can go through Shopify, or you can send it over to Walmart. It depends on what you do. You don't have to send it back to Amazon. What was I was just gonna. There's a couple of things that I've been kind of writing down, but one of them too was, you talked about this a little earlier, and I just want to make sure that this is clear. That if you're looking at profitability, I believe, and I've heard a lot of people say that where you can make a dramatic turn in your profitability is in your sourcing. That is one of the single most areas that it's all about your sourcing and sourcing the product properly. Afalabi's put out a great podcast about how to probably save 20-30% of your cost of goods just by sourcing and packaging properly. So that's another episode, but I wanted to put it out there.
Great.
Okay, and we do have some comments, questions about like feedback for seller boards. So if someone wants to give you feedback on your software, how do they do that exactly?
So there are several methods. The first one, if you are a seller board user, the chat that is provided inside the seller board is the best way, because there's the pipeline where the messages go to the support team, and they end up in the product team. So one of the reasons we are able to constantly improve the software is because of the feedback that we are getting, because the people behind seller board are not necessarily sellers at this point. It started as the people that started Sellerboard were sellers at that time, but now we can only analyze the requests that we are getting and really try to understand what the sellers are missing and try to give them exactly that. So we are always grateful for the feedback that we get. If you're not comfortable with using the chat for some reason, there's the email contact@sellerboard.com, or you can even email me, alex@sellerboard.com. I'm also always open to discussion and for feedback.
Is it available on 4 different platforms, or is it strictly Amazon?
It's available only for Amazon and Shopify now. We've been trying to reach out to Walmart for quite a while, knocking on doors, but we just feel like there's some gatekeeping going on. I don't know why, but still haven't received a response from them.
All right.
We got 2 more questions from Tom. Are you planning to visually split P&L to CM1, CM2, CM3?
Not yet. But if I would really love to know the side beside the reasons for that. So how would it improve the overall experience? Because then I can take it back to the product team and we can discuss and really maybe introduce it to the software.
Okay, and our last question, is there a change log? There's new features sent out or published to a URL. There's so many new features rolled out, it's hard to keep up.
Okay, so a log of all the new features.
That's a pretty good question. Yeah.
This is not even a question. This is like a feature suggestion, because we don't have it. So basically what we are doing now, every time we have a new feature, I prepare a newsletter, send it out to the customers, but I do agree with the fact that it's kind of hard to keep up. So yeah, thank you for the idea. I will definitely write it down just now. So yeah, there's another one.
All right. Okay. So, Kels, is that it?
Yep, that's it
All right.
for questions.
So, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a live read.
right.
Okay. And this is going to be for Seller Basics. And let me see how much I can, how many bloopers are on this one. Okay. This is all about Seller Basics. Hey, Amazon sellers, ever faced with account suspensions, ASIN hiccups, or IP headaches? Introducing Seller Basics, your Amazon accounts guardian, with just $99 per month. Or if you use code NORM, $89 a month. Seller Basics offers a dedicated team to shield your business from these challenges. Plus, this membership offers free legal consultations from seasoned e-commerce attorneys, no long-term contracts, and cancel in just a month's notice. View Seller Basics as your Amazon accounts health plan. You can check out Seller Basics at sellerbasics.com. Now for the disclaimer. Seller Basics isn't an insurer or law firm. Consultations come from independent firms. Results may vary. Memberships needed before events leading to claims, and terms apply. And by the way, this is one of those things, one of those subscriptions that I would definitely take a look at. If you've ever had an account suspension or a glitch in your account, you know what it costs to go to a lawyer and get it fixed. This is a way that a $99 or $89 subscription each month gives you access to ask questions and get the results done before any problem arises. I'm being nice. Any problems on Amazon arise. Okay, so let's get back. Okay, so is it time for us? Oh, let's do contact, and then we'll go to the Wheel of Kelsey. All right, Alex, where's your contact information?
Contact information. So yeah, the information. You mean to get in contact with us? With
yes, to get in contact with Sellerboard.
Yeah, sure. Sellerboard.com. Just visit us. There's all the contact information you might find, you might need. By the way, there's a demo account, so just see the demo account to really understand what it's all about. You have some demo numbers in there. You will understand what's inside, what comes into with the software. Yeah, and for any questions that you might have, if you want to start a discussion in email, alex@sellerboard.com. I'm very open to conversation. So yeah.
Okay, and not sure, but maybe you could post it in the Lunch with Norm group. I'm not sure if the listeners get a discount. I have no clue. Is there a discount available for the listeners?
I will come back in the WhatsApp group, and I will provide a link that will give all the participants in the group an additional free month of trial. So that we only offer 1 month, and the link will provide them with an additional free month of trial.
Perfect. That sounds great. I just noticed that there's a couple of things coming in, and I haven't had a chance. Are those questions or just comments, Kels?
Just one from Celis. It looks like it's possible. Is it possible to pull out monthly sales data per SKU for the last 5 years or so?
Last 5 years. So yes, it is possible if you have 5 years of data. Let me try to be precise on this one. So yeah, you have this report section. So in the report section, you can specify the range, the target range that you're interested in, and there you can pull this report.
Okay. All right. That's it. Let's go to the wheel.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right. Wow. We got a lot of entries today.
Yeah, we got a hot wheel today. Let me see, make sure I got everyone. think we did. So I'm going to shuffle these up. We do this every single podcast too. That's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you are the winner, please email me, k@lunchwithnorm.com. And it looks like Michael from Facebook.
All right.
Hooray.
So that's
Congratulations.
a great price. So that's 6 months, 6 months free on Sellerboard. So congratulations, Michael. Okay,
Congrats.
so I am going to, you'll be removed, but stay backstage. We'll come back
right.
in a second. But Alex, thank you so much for coming on. I know we reached out to Sellerboard, and really glad that you came on and answered a bunch of questions, really important questions about profitability and just how to make sure that your account is profitable or the information that you receive is accurate. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, Norm. Kelsey, it's been a pleasure.
All right. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Just we're
Yep.
going to remove you. Don't go away.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, cool.
So let's see. Kelsey, where are you?
All right. Great episode.
Yeah, it was really, really great. Now, before, if I know that we have a ton of listeners right now, don't go away. I want to talk about a couple of things that you may have seen in Kevin King's newsletter yesterday, and we got a great response. So this is why I want to talk about it on the podcast live. We're doing our second CMS event, so that's a Collective Mind Society. It's happening in August. We put out just a feeler yesterday, and we got way more response than what we thought. And I wanted to let everybody know that if you are interested, just let us know. You can either just ping Kelsey or myself, or go to, can you put the link in there? There is a waiting list. So you can go into collectivemindsociety.com, and you can just go to the waiting list. The reason why there's a waiting list is we're just trying to see how many people have interest. If you're interested in this, and well, by the way, what we're doing is we decided to go to Vancouver. It's not Amazon. It's not e-com. It's this whole like-minded group of people that is going to be traveling for 4 days. So we're going to be going through the Canadian Rockies with this glass top. We're going to be stopping at some really nice hotels. We're going to have in Vancouver a nice Michelin star. We're going to go to a Michelin star restaurant, and then we're going to go to Kamloops, Lake Louise, Banff, and then we're taking, I'm not sure if it's a helicopter, but we're going to go walk on some glaciers and then head over to Calgary. It's going to be a great event. We've made it pretty affordable for anybody who wants to come, and it's not an Amazon. There's no presentations. Kevin and I are going to be there, and there's going to be a bunch of other people that you'll probably know, and some new ones as well. We're trying to make it entrepreneurial. So if you're interested in that, just head over there. We can only take 16 people. That's including Kelsey, myself, and Kevin. So now it's down to 13 people. But if you're interested, put that on there. The other thing, what was it I gave you? I put it in private chat. Oh, we have something coming up. You're going to be hearing about it very soon. It's called Dragonfish. And Dragonfish is going to be working on some newsletters as well as managed services. So once I think it's going to be at the beginning of March. I'll give you all the information, but I just wanted to let you know that we're coming up with something big, and you guys are the first to know about it. Okay, that's it. I think that's it. Anything else, Kels?
Just want to mention again, Alex is going to be in the WhatsApp group, and we've got a special discount or trial coming. So check that out. If you're interested in how to get into the Lunch with Norm group, it's in the captions. So check it out. We've just released some subgroups as well. So if you like, right now we have a PPC group and a sourcing group all under one community. And we're going to be releasing a few more kind of each week, slowly rolling them out. So you can check those out. Also sign up for our newsletter too. It comes out every Monday. It's got a bunch of great tips and stories from Norm as well. So there's lots of places to learn, and I think that's it.
Okay, very good. Okay, well, thanks for joining us today. We had a huge crowd listening in, and you can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. We have a great community. We have an awesome community, and we couldn't do this without you. What we've done is we've tried to even expand it for you. And that's the podcast or the Facebook group. Now with the WhatsApp group, which is incredible. Kelsey, we're trying an experiment because the group got so big and there's so much going on in the group, to break it into subgroups. So let us know what you think about that. And also, we have the newsletter. The newsletter does not suck. That's all I can say. It's awesome. We've been working with Kevin King on it, trying to develop it and trying to make it one of the best in the industry. So if you're interested in it, it's lunchwithnorm.beehive. Beehive has 2 eyes. Kelsey will put it in there. And just subscribe. All the stories that we have in it, at least my stories, they're all true. No exaggerations. And some of them are just absolutely crazy. But all right, if you have any suggestions, let us know. And until next time, we'll see you later. Have a great Friday.
Lunch with